Yes.
Hello
So we may
everyone.
all, yes, Riman.
Yeah. So hello everyone. This is our 11th session today, and the second celebrity talk we have here, Vandana Shah from Chrysalis, who is one of the top 10 executive coach of India. So it is really pleasure from Cosmo people. I welcome Vandana Shah, and we are really grateful to you, Vandana, that you are here and you are giving us a valuable guidance into the next 30 minutes. Yes, Prachiti, you can just go ahead with the introduction of Vandana.
Yes. Basically, Rimay, dialogues help immensely, and especially when it comes to breaking barriers, inculcating understandings, and building awareness. So, for all of these, we have a celebrity guest today who is Vandana Shah, founder of Chrysalis, a talent development company. She is an executive and CEO's coach. She has coached over 200 clients in last 8 years. uh, and various leaders, business leaders, professionals from all over India to across the globe also. She is an ICF PCC level coach. She writes for DNA Money, India local newspaper, and USA Careers in Government.com. This year, she is awarded 101 Most Fabulous Coaching Leaders, India's Most Influential Coach by the Global and Excellence Award 2020 and Women of Excellence 2020 Awards. She works with Aspire Foundation on women empowerment social cause, and since Corona breakout, she has extended free counseling to COVID affected patients and relatives in India. That's so generous of you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Prachiti, we can start the session. So the first question is coming from you.
Okay. So, ma'am, I would just like to ask you, like, why did this type of work interest you? And, like, how did you get started? From where did you get started? We are really interested.
So you're talking with respect to coaching business, right?
Yes. Yes,
Sure.
Chrysalis and coaching.
Yeah. So my prior to Chrysalis journey has been pretty interesting. Being in HR, I have worked across HR functions, and my last 10 years I've been heading HR in some multinationals, and the journey has been so challenging. Uh, in terms of not only my own growth but looking at employees who are my internal customers as an HR, how challenging life of an employee is in the corporate sector, the entire setup in businesses. So the trigger was to how can I really go beyond my limitations, beyond the boundaries of me being an HR into the organization, and just go out and start helping those who really have potential and really have desire and dreams to attain into their lives. So that's how Chrysalis birth happened, and I thought it is my purpose and my calling, where I need to use my authentic power and start helping who have those potentials, help them realize their potential and start growing into their professional lives. That's how the journey of Chrysalis started.
Yeah, Vandana. The next question is from me. If anybody wants to get into this profession, then what are the stages or what are the prerequisite things that anyone should follow?
For coaching, typically anybody and everybody can become coach, but then how do you really sustain with those competencies and protocols that you learn as a coach? Uh, in Indian market, there is a challenge that you see. You For coach, you need to have a tremendous years of experience. You need to bring some value to the table. The trust factor should be there. You should have some past experiences that you bring along with you on table, and that's where clients will start trusting you to accept you as their coach or hire you as their coach. So those are some basics that you need to keep in mind. However, everybody can go to international schools of coaching and they can start learning and attaining their credentialing certification. Go to best of the schools. That's what I would say.
Very true. Actually, the ones who are wanting to coach should have traveled the path by themselves. So,
Yes.
what abilities or personal qualities do you believe that contribute most to the success in this field?
Your inner desire to connect to servicing people. It's not about you. It's not your goal in life. It's your client's goal in life. You need to be ready to bring that shift by how will you do that? You first need to understand your authentic power, who you are. Can you understand what is the seat of your soul? And once you understand that and you connect that with your values and you start aligning all of these, your purpose with your values to your client's need and not your personal need. So your clients need their goals, their dreams. It's all about them. When all this comes into alignment, that's where you see the true power of coaching comes into process, into existence, and you start seeing that success happening.
Yeah, Vandana, I just wanted to know that what kind of qualities one should have to be into executive coaching. Means what are the qualities, the personal qualities also, and the professional qualities as well.
Like I said, I answered this question. I'll reiterate my answer.
I'm
Dr.
extremely sorry. I was just, yeah, I was
Uh,
just out of the network. So we can change the question, not an issue. Prachiti, you
We
can
can
ask the
change it
question.
to professional qualities. We can change.
Professional
We
Yeah.
have
quality is sure. Professional quality is going to be commitment, dedication, patience. You need to have a lot of patience. There are going to be times initially when you start off, nobody's going to trust you, nobody's going to believe you. Your friends, your people, it's all about, everybody. We all human beings have very high level of ego, and that ego state always would tell us, why do I need somebody else to come and give me any kind of hand holding, supporting? Do I really need a coach? Who is she or who is he coming to help me? Even when they have explored, partnered with you to get into this journey, initial stage professionalism for a coach, the ethical practices is to stay grounded, need to have a lot of patience. You need to have trust in yourself, in your client, into the environment, and let the process flow with the need of your client, which is to be put in the forefront and not your personal needs. That I need to be successful as a coach. I need to flourish this as a business. That doesn't come into the first place. You have to forget yourself in this journey. You have to keep your clients and others' need first before you. That's the professional etiquette that is required in your way of being, in your professional practice, with your values empowered in that zone or in that path. Then your professional journey as a coach would really, really succeed.
Yeah, that's so nice to know. And I've seen, like, I'm a life coach, and I've seen that people in India, they do not prefer more of life coaching as such. When we talk about mental health, then the first thing that comes to their mind is psychiatrist. And if we say that we are doing this genuinely, authentically, because we have by birth inner calling to serve people, in the service of people, but then
Yeah.
they expect, like, they expect people like us to be giving free advices, giving free webinars, and most of the times they opt for free things. And when it comes to paid tasks, the mindset is totally different. So in the initial stage, as a speaker, because we are speaking about this as a profession, so what is the typical path, when we get from a free webinar to going towards a paid webinar way? So, what is the typical path? Can you just mention the stages or something like that?
It's all about how you connect with people in that free webinar.
Yeah.
There are hundreds and hundreds of free webinars that people would have undergone during this COVID time from like, I think about 20th March, the third week of March till
Definitely.
this time, and still people are giving a lot of free webinars. Corporates have started offering webinar work, and they say it's not heavy cost. And would people want to, even employees for their organization, corporate setup, would they want to come? How do you transition? How do you get return on investment? It's all about building yourself as a brand, right? Now,
Yes.
if you are a startup, and especially when there is such a high competition in the market where everybody wants to give free webinars, why would somebody come to you and pay you money for that? It's exactly what a life coach or a professional executive coach like me also would have the same experience which we are going through since the time we would have started our coaching journey. It's all about how do you connect, how your clients can see you into their story. It's not about you selling, it's about they wanting to buy your service. It's a reverse psychology that really needs to be put into place while doing this free webinar. Then this is the seed that you sow into that free webinar, which reaps the benefit post webinar, when people will start coming back to you and saying, hey, can I really take some help from you? Can I just, come for the service for you? That's how you start making money out of it.
What a excellent perspective. Like, you are not the seller, but the buyer wants you. The buyer should need you. This is such a beautiful perspective, ma'am. And I would also like to ask you that what are the most important personal satisfactions as well as the dissatisfactions that are connected with this occupation?
Personal satisfaction and professional
Dissatisfactions. No, personal,
dissatisfaction.
both personal. Yeah.
Honestly speaking, dissatisfaction would be your mindset,
Hmm.
your higher expectation.
Yes.
In this webinar, I wanted about 100 numbers. This post should have like 100 likes, X number. That's like
Yes.
I'm creating a benchmark into my mind. I need to achieve this much. I need to do this much. And when that doesn't happen, maybe by one number you reach 99, somewhere you will have, oh my God, I should have, like, I didn't get it. You do 101, you say, oh my God, I should have done little more. So dissatisfaction is all about your mindset. The reason I'm picking the negative first is because that leads to not having the happiness into your life. This is something which is, I call it as a happiness trap.
Okay.
Now, what is a
Great.
happiness trap into our way of being or achieving or attaining anything and everything into our life? It's all about how am I feeling happy about whatever I do in that moment. So when I see my client not finding the result in the first coaching session and he's still confused, as a coach, you know what seeds you are sowing. You need to have the patience. And that is where, when you know your work, when you know your worth, when you know your values, who you are, and what is the kind of work that you do, irrespective of how much level of success you get, you should be and you will be always happy and satisfied and content into whatever you achieve in that journey.
Yes. Oh my God, like, I'm getting so many useful insights for me, because this is really very important for me, that even if the client at the moment is not getting any benefits or useful insights and he's complaining, but we need to be content and confident in our skin that we have sown a seed, and sometime or other it will surely show its results, which is really beneficial. And this one point is like a magic pill for me right now.
Yes.
Yes, so I would also like to ask you that most of the times I feel, people are getting these free webinars, free access to internet and social media sites, and most of the
Hmm.
knowledge is getting poured in. Like, there is such a huge amount of knowledge people get from Google and from all the web. But then we also talk about the knowledge action gap. We talk about metacognition, that how people are not implementing the knowledge. And it was being said that knowledge is power. But certainly life coaches won't say that knowledge is power. Knowledge is a potential power. unless you implement that, unless you make it into action. So sometimes, what we feel, like I and my other life coaches friends, we feel that these free information and excess of knowledge should not be streamed actually. So what measures can we take for this bridging this knowledge action gap?
See, when you're attending too many webinars, the challenge is always going to be there because there is too much of content download that you've already done to your brain. You're overloaded. Now, what that leads to? It leads to confusion.
Yes.
So, when I'm confused, what should I do? I need to start making notes, start writing what all I have learned, because your brain has a selective memory. It will only register and accept
Yes.
what it wants to register and accept. So you have to start making note of what do you have learned and memorized. You start making those notes out of whatever webinars that you have attended over this period of time, and then you start prioritizing what is making sense and meaning to your current business, your current action plans that you're planning, your goals. And then you have to, once you prioritize and number it 1 to 10, that's where you exactly know this is for my importance. Next stage after that is, how do I start using it? What are the benefits to me having put this into action? Whatever I've learned. And then how do I put it into action? So it's like it's a smart plan that you make. First, you understand what it is, you prioritize. So you already filter out what matters to you and what doesn't matter to you. So your confusion mind, the clutter into mind, which has hazy vision and it's not able to make up its mind. Like for example, I can give you one example. If people watching TV, they would have seen India Today that Ramdev Baba comes on to television every day at 5 o'clock. He will give host of exercises like tuck 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 between 5 to whatever time he does his practice. Now, if how much of it are you going to be able to memorize and register? Impossible. You have a selective memory. So now, if, for example, if he is given something which is related to X illness and he is given some 10 exercise, whichever one, your brain is going to only register whichever one he likes to see. So when you make a note, this is the one I remember. Rest everything will be faded off. So you clear your memory. This is how you get clarity. Once you get clarity on what matters to you, start making meaning out of it. Why is it important for me? How is it going to benefit to me? And then what should be the strategy to start implementing it? So this is how you make your action plan.
I'm so impressed the way you are already strategizing and explaining it so beautifully, which just a perfect coaching session, it seems. The understanding for me is so clear right now. And
Thank you.
yeah. So I think we have talked about how to start as a coach, how to for the beginners. We have talked about the listeners, like why they ask for free, why life coaching is important. We have talked about what for the knowledge action gap, what the people should or the listeners should implement. But right now, I'm really after listening to you, I'm really keen and interested about you as such. Like, what is your journey? Like, what is your a moment story behind when you started actually working, the initial times?
Initial times are never easy. Knocking on to your friends, contacts, known people's door. Back then, those days in India, people really did not know much about coaching. And my purpose was to giving back to the corporate world. I'm an executive coach, I'm not a life coach. So, life coaching is very easy. You can start picking up people around you and you can start servicing them. But going back to the corporate, why would somebody really give you business? So creating that niche about yourself, proving yourself as what is your worth, that was a very very challenging part. But then for me, uh, the best part was I had the best life. Today's Teachers Day, so I can dedicate this time, this moment to my best critic and my mentor of life, which was my father, who is no more. And he always gave one statement. You don't have to sell, you have to make sure people buy, like I said sometime back. And that's what I did. The challenge was initially to understand why would somebody buy my service rather than what I want to sell. So first you have to understand what you really want to do. So I had to understand what I really want to do, because there are different verticals into coaching. You want to be a life coach, you want to be a spiritual coach, mindfulness coach, the executive coach, leadership coach, sports coach, performance coach. There are a host of coaching verticals that you have, and which is your core? What do you want to master in? And how would you want to see yourself 10 years down the line? And how would you want to be remembered? So, my first foremost thing was to work on myself, then to start going out and work on people and help them grow. So unless I cannot establish myself, I can really not help somebody else's business get established. So the working started, from within. And there is one very interesting book which I read back then, which is by the Gary Zukav. It's called as the Seat of the Soul, and that book actually helped me to start understanding who I am, what's my purpose, what's my authentic power, identify my values, connect all of this,
Sayu,
and start creating a purpose into your business. And that's how the birth of Chrysalis and empower your authentic being, which is our tagline, which is what is our purpose of Chrysalis, that we cater to our clients. And that started. And the challenge was you have to really create your niche and you have to become a brand for yourself. Unless you people don't see their stories in your story, they will never connect with you and not buy your services. So that's something what I had to create.
yeah, that's so nice. Like what you said, that you need to be clear first on your own self, and then you can make others clear. But then I would like to know, like, what are the kind of decisions that you are making, maybe on an everyday basis or on the client basis. Sometimes we do have clients which are of victim mindset mentality, or it's not that all the clients that we receive are of a growth mindset mentality. Sometimes they are over judgmental, over sometimes we do have such clients. And especially I think when it comes to corporates, the super ego uh, task, I don't know, might as well it would be there. So what are the kind of decisions that you're taking on a daily basis, on the job level, on your personal level?
So first and foremost, you have to have chemistry meeting with your client before you make up your mind whether you want to work with this client or not. Whether I'm working with the promoters of multinationals, or I'm working with some celebrities who are Fortune 500 or Forbes selected, their recommended companies, managing directors, or millionaires or billionaires around the globe, my first and foremost uh, criteria is, before signing the contracts, is to have a chemistry meeting. Without that, it's a partnership work. It's a coach and the coachee's partnership work. I'm signing a contract in partnership. I give my 100%, you give your 100%. I give my 50%, you give your 50%, and we make it to 100%. Then we grow and we make my 100%, your 100%. That's how the alignment happens, and alignment goes to the scale up levels. That's how coaching journey works. Unless and until the chemistry meeting doesn't happen, the coachee will not have the confidence or the trust on the coach, because I am the client's Pandorama box. The super ego needs to surrender. Can I see myself like a mirror in front of my coach? Because I'm a mirror for my coach, for my client. So can my client see me, see himself or herself in me as a mirror? That's first criteria. They need to assess me. Can I hire her as a coach? Does she have that kind of capability or content? Or, irrespective, she doesn't have gray hair and she's young, can she still be my coach? So that's number one. Number two, I'm talking bitter truth. This is the mindset.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hidden somewhere, but it's there. Especially
Yes,
with all these senior people who are uh, they have proven themselves and they've established. They can't be just
yes.
the Fortune 500 companies managing directors or CEOs. So the leaders. So that's their criteria. For me, my criteria is the client closed client or coachable client.
Yes.
I would assess my client. I will try and understand whether we can be partners with each other or not. If you both have a win win situation and you both decide after hatching the matching process, you agree, then you dispatch towards the last stage, which is the contracting, and then execute the coaching journey. So, unless this second stage has not happened, it is really not going to be moving forward. So there is no way the challenge is going to come in between coaching journey.
So very well organized and planned. I just like this word, like chemistry meeting, which is so good, because in the initial moments only, when you see the win-win situation, and then you cautiously move ahead. That's a wise mind thing, I feel. And yeah, I would. And as you said, the gray hair and all, even we have faced the similar kinds of things. I being a doctor, in the initial, like now I'm in my 40s, but initially also, my patients used to say that "Nai ga pori, kai nahi ho, tu kod mala sagnari." Like they used to teach us. It was the other way around. Like people have this mindset mentality, unless you are old enough and you have gray hairs. Yeah, but then times are changing, I feel. I would have also like to ask you, like, how does your time use vary? Like, maybe there may be busy times, slow times, or times where the work is on a high activity or a very fairly constant activity. So, what are the timings like?
I'm working in almost 10 countries, different time zones. So it's like round the clock working. So balancing yourself, having a good work life balance matters the most. So you really have to plan based on your geographies, the clients that you're working. You really need to unwind yourself with, or after the coaching session, you need to have good gaps in between. Uh, you need to have good time before the coaching session for yourself to prepare, become grounded, come into the moment, and start the coaching engagement. So there is a pre-work, there is a post-work, there is a lot of time that you need to spend with your own self. And honestly speaking, your all your coaching clients would have, they know that, okay, this is my panorama box, my secret box. I can just start dumping all that is coming to my mind in on WhatsApp, through calls, through
Yes.
messages. So all that is intriguing. There are aha moments they want to share, so you're the first person the breaking news comes to you. There are
Yes.
the bad news, there are challenging moments, I need my coach, I need help. And you have to give those 5 minutes, 10 minutes follow up calls, messages. So you really need to plan yourself very well in terms of having gaps, not having more than three coaching calls in a day, irrespective how much money somebody gives you. But if you want to really maintain good quality, because it's a partnership work. So I believe in giving my 100%, and my 100% will only come with the quality and my 100% presence in that moment with the client. That only happens when I'm mindful about it, and my mindfulness comes when I do minimalistic coaching work, and there's a lot more balanced follow-up sessions, follow-up calls, messages, all of that. And you really need to spend good time with yourself in meditation, reading books, journaling, exercises, in whatever form you like, maybe being in nature, going out. I'm a crazy traveler. I like to be on wheels as in when I get time. So you ask me, and I'm there on wheels. So I get little free time, 2 days, and you'll find me sneaking out somewhere. So that's how you have to start balancing yourself and create those times for yourself, so you don't forget living your life. Yeah.
That's so good to hear that self care is also that much important, and you have to be very well planned and well organized for yourself as well as your clients for the effective quality to be maintained.
Yes.
Rimay has a question over here, that what is the process after coaching started for an executive? Like the
The
process, the
process
steps
is,
for executive coaching. Yes.
there is nothing like a script because you have to be in the moment with the client. You have regular intervals of coaching. You have monitoring mechanism for the progress. You have midterm coaching reviews that happens, and it depends on what you have signed off in the contracts as well, because different clients have different requirement. So you have signed off with the processes as well. What are going to be the coach's deliverables? So it is very customized work, and it cannot be the same for all clients. For example, if a client is it all works on your man hours as well. So for example, there is a corporate that wants the monitoring mechanism midterm, and there has to be stakeholders who need to be giving you the feedback on the progress, because it's a behavioral coaching. You are trying to change the behavior of the client, and it cannot be measured with assessments. So we cannot have midterm assessments as a measuring tool, and people have to give feedback on the change in the behavior. So then you need to have that kind of a process that you need to set up. Who are going to be those stakeholders? How the feed forward mechanism going to be? What is going to be the format, customized questioning, and then interviews that you do with the meetings that you do with the stakeholders, and get the inputs, and then you collate everything, and you then create the update, the final answers, and what are the changes that they're seeing, and what further is required. So then in the remaining engagement tenure, what are the focus areas that we need to really focus on. So you can monitor these mechanisms. So these are like it is very highly customized work. It cannot be mentioned as what are the processes. It differs from client to client. If I'm working with some politician, for example, then I would have a very different kind of a working with that person. I work with solicitors and lawyers. Their monitoring is completely different. The progresses are different. You have to look for what is clients need, rather than you setting a complete set package kind of a thing, and you sell the same package to all your clients. Doesn't work that way. Coaching is highly customized and personalized work based on your client's need rather than your own agendas. So this is how the work is going to be customized. Yes.
I think that's the secret of your success, that you are always client oriented, more of a giver, and always you're seeing the needs of client, and designing the programs according to the customized needs of client. So now
Yes.
the question is like, what are the average investments or the fees for getting an executive coaching?
Depends who's the client, what are their needs, what are the engagement, and what is the man hours. So it cannot be numbered. It cannot be numbered.
Okay, and does it vary from like Indian customers, because you have been dealing with many abroad
Yes,
also?
yes, yes, yes. So clients really, it all differs, differentiates whether it's going to be paid in dollars, in pounds, in euros, or it's going to be, and are you doing coaching in English itself, or you're doing coaching in any other language? Because one very important aspect that I learned was during this Corona period was I utilized my time in learning Dutch. So now I speak German, and I am, getting myself prepared to a level where I can start coaching in German. So my rates will be way, way different for European market than what they are now. So the entire shift happens. So it depends, rates will be defined based on, okay, it also differs from when you want to hire an executive coach. There are certain criteria that one needs to keep in mind. Executive coaches are expensive. Number one, you will always feel them, they are expensive. Why? Because they bring many, many years of experience. On table. They would have gone to different schools, and they will bring a lot of polished experience and credentialing, which brings their worth. And thirdly, they guarantee 100% return on investment. So your money is not going anywhere. To top it, executive coaches are need to be identified by the client based on what are their credentialing, licensing, how many years of experience do they hold, what kind of clients they have catered to, how many hours of coaching they have, is that been a business consulting hours, counseling hours, or actually 100% authentic coaching hours. So all these really really matter. I would have coaches working in my team, in my company, who are just having about 200, 300 hours of coaching experience. You don't want very expensive coach, you can get, with lesser experienced coach. So the worth and the value will reduce accordingly. So it all depends, what is the price. It cannot be really identified, or it's not a platter which is like, you go to a restaurant and you say, I want this item and this is the price for it. Yeah.
The menu card, yes. And
Yes. Yes.
it's so inspiring that you did this German course, and I know just only
Yes.
one sentence. Ich bin Ausländer und spreche nicht gut Deutsch. So,
Okay.
so, so I remembered this, and for most of my friends, we catch up with only this thing. So,
So I can
uh,
I can definitely say, Liebe, Dr. Prachi. So at least I can say, dear Prachi, thank you so much. Danke.
uh,
Real danke.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and people like we are really interested to know what is the difference. Do you find any difference in the mindsets or the mentality of Indian clients versus the other clients, like clients abroad?
International clients.
Yeah, international clients. Yes.
Yeah, it's not about mentality. It is about uh, connecting your authenticity, your energies with the opposite person's energy. It's all about connecting with people. It's all about how much of receptive person you are, how much of open and non-judgmental person you are. So there would be times when you would find clients who are very very uh, they will be very sweet on the face, but that if, some countries, some cultures, it's inbuilt into them, where they are
Oh,
very shrewd and they are very very selective into their mind.
oh,
But then it's all about how you connect the energies and how you can
hmm.
resonate with each other. Your client is a human being at the end of the day. It really doesn't matter which land, which country, what culture, what background he brings. It can be somebody from a metro city like Bombay. It can be somebody from a town like Nashik, or the maybe the smaller area of Nashik like Devlali as well. Or it can be from
Hmm.
Pune, or it can be coming from extreme borders like in down south Chennai. So people, we are human at the end of the day, and we all have some needs and requirements. How do the client sees whether he can buy your service. It's not about you selling, it's about he buying. I again reiterate the same thing. So then it doesn't matter, it's all about the one planet, round circle, globe. You travel wherever, it's all about connecting.
Yeah, and we'll take one more last question, I think.
Sure.
That in one or two sentences, that if your work progresses as you like, what would be the next step in your coming future?
Somebody has asked this question, I remember, to Oprah Winfrey also sometime. And I'm
Oh,
remembering her answer right now. Oh God, what she had mentioned.
so good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's something which is so mesmerizing. When somebody had asked her this, Nelson Mandela had asked her this question, and she said, uh, uh, I want to open a book, open a school. And actually, African ministers, the education minister was with her in next few hours. So universe, you give it something with authenticity, and universe just sends it. So that's why I got goosebumps right now when you ask this question.
Yeah,
This is the
even
moment
I
of
can
truth.
feel
I
the
don't know.
energy feels. Yeah, yeah, I'm feeling the energy feels. Maybe that's the connectivity, energy work, as you said. That's might be
Yes.
the magic that is creating over here.
Yes, yes, yes. So I work with a lot of right now. I'm doing some work with physically challenged uh, empowerment for physically challenged people, but I want to do the empowerment work for women, and that's something which is my dream. I want to continue doing the work in that field. When I see Kangna Ranawat today, or I see what's happening in the news since last couple of days, and if you see
Yeah.
yesterday's story, these
Yes.
are the
Yes.
women who go through so much of anxieties into their lives and they want to still prove, no matter you're successful, you're not successful, but creating that power within yourself is so super important. And if my education, my knowledge, and my service can be a catalyst and enabler to take you to another level as a woman, what more can I achieve? So that's something which I would want to do.
Absolutely amazing. This is something really amazing to empower women in a true sense, in an authentic way. And you are definitely an ideal example in front of them to be the way and think the way. Whatever was the interview, it went on very well. And we got a lot of insights from you. And I would like to request all our viewers that information is not power, it's just potential power. Take action is what produces power. So, thank you so much for being here, ma'am. And it was a great pleasure for me to have you here. Um, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Do you
Thank
have
you,
any
Dr.
closing?
Prachiti.
Yeah. Do you have any closing one-word message for our viewers?
I had written something very interesting. Probably, if you can allow me to read, there is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
few
Sure.
lines I wrote. डर
Yeah.
मुझे भी लगा फासला देखकर, पर मैं बढ़ता गया रास्ता देखकर, खुद
Wow.
ब खुद मेरे नजदीक आती गई मेरी मंजिल मेरा हौसला देखकर. So never give up into your life and stay on your path with a lot of focus and conviction. That's what I would say.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
वाह, बहुत बढ़िया। और इसी तरह मैं सबसे निवेदन करती हूँ कि आप अपने पाथ पर बढ़ते रहिए।
Thank
एनर्जी
you.
वर्क है, हर तरह से आपको मदद मिलेगी, अगर आप मांगेंगे तो कहीं से भी मिल ही जाएगी। एंड थैंक यू
Sure.
वंदना जी फॉर बीइंग हियर। Thanks a lot.
Thank
It was
you.
a very useful, insightful session. And with this, I
Thank you.
conclude the end of this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.